Hey guys, welcome to Black Gumbo. Let's go up pot some figs. Well, I'm standing here in front of my fig jungle and I'm really happy with the progress of my figs this year. But you know, I'm kind of a fig fanatic, and for my 10,000 subscriber celebration, I bought myself some new fig varieties. Let's go plant them up in pots. I'll show you how to do it. What we have here are some rice hulls, and rice hulls are a byproduct of the rice industry, and they make great mulch. They make a great soil amendment for aeration, and they don't break down real quick, so they'll last you a long time. And so the good thing about rice hulls is they include what's called silicone. Now, not like, you know, silicone that you pump into your your enhancement stuff. This is silicone, like as in what most of the Earth's core is made of. So this is a very good addition of a micronutrient, and some folks even believe silicone is a macronutrient. And so we'll add this to our soil, and we'll put this in our mix to give tilth and aeration to the soil and to amend it a bit. And I'll probably use some of this as mulch as well. Now you can see this results in a very loose and a very airy growing medium. In a very aerated soil, a very light growing matrix, and it includes some rice hulls in there. You could use pine bark chips, very small ones, but I've encountered these rice hulls because of several growers of figs, and I like what I see. This acts as good mulch, but it also is a good soil amendment, and I think I can get away with this instead of having to source some pine bark chips, which has been very difficult for me to get the finer ones. And so with the compost in here, with the peat moss in here, it will retain moisture. With the perlite and the rice hulls, it will be nice and aerated and loose soil, and that's just perfect for figs. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're after. It's going to be some good stuff. Let's pot up some figs. And so what I'll do is I'll put just a little bit of soil in the bottom of each pot, this stuff that I've prepared for my figs. And my fig cuttings that are rooted come in these 12-inch long, very deep containers. So I'm not going to fill it up all the way. I'm going to leave a lot of space there. I'm going to put my fig in there, and I'm going to fill up around it. So I have these cuttings from Christian at Tinkerbug Figs, and you need to check out Tinkerbug Figs if you're into figs at all. He can get you some varieties that you might not have access to. This one is a blackjack, a fairly common variety, but one I didn't have. And you can see it's just it's a cutting. It's a rooted cutting, and it's about time to get these into the pot. And so I'm going to take all of this and preserve all of this stuff as best I can, and just kind of drop this down into my pot and fill in around it. Ooh, look at that. That poor little fig. He's in there. Try to preserve all the roots that you can. And I'm just going to drop him in there and start filling in all around. Try not to disturb those roots. Those are young roots, first year roots, and we don't want those roots to be too disturbed. We just want this to get going and to fill this bucket with roots, and then we'll up pot this fig into a larger container once it's kind of established and has a strong root system. We can come back and move these up. With figs, with these kinds of fruit trees, you want to pot them up slowly. You don't want to put them in a 10-gallon pot or a 20-gallon pot when they're this small. You want to put them in something, this is a 2.5-gallon pot. You want to put them in there and let them grow up and fill this pot up, and then pot them up again to maybe a 5-gallon bucket, and then finally after its roots have filled that 5-gallon bucket, then you want to take them up and put them in, you know, like a 25-30-gallon bucket that they will permanently live in. So this is a multi-year process, and it is a process that generates for you the best tree, the best fruit, the most healthy root system. So we've got this in a small pot here, 2.5 gallon. I'm going to put some mulch on here, and we're done. That is it. There's my blackjack. That's good stuff. Next we're going to do a Santa Cruz white. This is one of the varieties I was looking forward to getting. Santa Cruz white. Let's see what this one looks like. Ooh, that one's staying together nice. It's got a good root system. You can see the roots up there all through in here. That's a good root system. We're going to try to carefully put this in here just like that and fill in around it. Now this fig now has about 500% more soil to grow in, and we'll spread its roots out in here, and this will establish this fig for this first year of its growth at my house. And come next year it ought to be about 2 to 3 feet high, but it's going to continue to grow, and we'll prune it according to how we like our figs to grow. But that's next year. Right now we want to get it established, get it happy in a pot, and yeah, just get it in there and get it growing for me. This variety is a Nero 6000, and I'm looking forward to this one. But the soil there is very loose. If you wanted to, you could moisten these up a bit before you transplant them. It's not really necessary. If you're putting them in some moist soil, we're going to water these in real good once they're planted. Always mulch your plants. Mulching is a good practice. It suppresses weeds, but more importantly, mulch keeps the moisture in the pot where you want that moisture to stay. It helps you know, the pot with that loose matrix drains the soil of standing water and doesn't get waterlogged, but because you've got mulch in there, it helps the moisture that is absorbed by the peat moss and the compost in there. It helps it retain that moisture, and that's what a fig needs. You can tell that Christian at Tinkerbug Figs uses rice hulls either as a mulch or even in his mix. I haven't really been able to discern that. I haven't been paying attention as I've taken them out. But I know Ross Raddi over at his channel uses rice hulls extensively, and he uses them as mulch. And I'm going to try using them in my soil itself. I think that's just a perfectly good use of rice hulls. So this is a white Marseille. Christian gave me this one as a kind of a freebie for you know, buying so many figs from him. I appreciate that. Thanks, Christian. And I'm going to plant this one up in a grow bag and see what that does differently than some of these pots. Now, I've planted figs in grow bags before. They're perfectly fine. And there is a little snail there, and he's causing damage. Calcium for the soil. All right, let's get this guy in. Now, that's a nicely shaped fig tree. I may come in here and take this guy off right here, this little side branch, this one here, because I like my fig trees to kind of be upward and tree-like. If I leave that there, this tree's going to bush out and be more bush-like. But for the first year, I'm going to let it get established and let it just do what it wants. And then next year, I'll come back when it's dormant and I'll prune it up the way I want it to grow. This is a Filaciano Bianco. I guess I'm saying that right. At least I'm saying it like an American pronounces Italian. So we're going to put this one in our pot. This is our last one to pot up this year. That's a nice root system on that plant. Now, when your figs come with a label or they arrive, you want to put on a tag like this, and you want to keep that tag always above the soil. Sometimes they get buried down in there when you pot them up and you don't remember to, hey, dig those out of there. And so I like to put my tags higher up on the fig plant as they get larger so that they don't get buried up, and I always know what I've got. I have over 35 varieties of figs, and I really like my figs. I like to know what I'm eating and know what I'm working with. So to get these labels, I put them higher up on the tree. That's just a good practice. Look at that. That makes me happy. This is a 10,000 subscriber celebration plant. I bought these when I reached 10,000 subscribers. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for supporting our channel and watching our videos. I appreciate that. Now, I'll want to check these figs tomorrow and make sure that these leaves are not suffering from sun scald or sunburn, because they are new plants. They have been exposed to sun a little bit, but they haven't been exposed to full sun all day long just yet. And so if I notice some signs of sun scald or these leaves being stressed out, I will come and I will shade them somehow or put them in, half-day sun. Because if you look at these leaves, they're nice and tender green, while you look at the leaves of a tree that's been out here all its life, it's nice and dark. So we'll have to keep an eye on these and make sure that they don't get sunburned. All right, well, there we go. New figs. We got these figs in here. 1-year-old figs. It's going to be about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years before they start really putting on fruit. And if they do fruit this year or next year, we'll pinch that fruit off and direct all their growth resources to building a plant. And we'll be pruning them in the dormant season, making them into nice trees. I like a tree style. I don't really care for the bush style. Some figs just get away from you though, and you can't do nothing about it. So these guys are all in good shape, and I'm real happy to have them finally in my garden. Well, thanks for joining us on Black Gumbo. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Like and share our videos. Join us on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.